Hi everyone, this is Yuri with my tips and tricks on how to turn a photo into a painting. You can see me as I have been painted with oils, right? So that is going to be my tips and tricks video about turning a photograph into digital oil painting. This time we're gonna have a freedom of placing oil paint brush strokes in a little bit abstract way. So we would take apart our photographic image and create a stunning digital painting which would deserve to be printed, framed and placed on the wall. And all of these we are going to do with the help of an application called ArtRage. I had ArtRage for many years, but I tend not to using it a lot, preferring some other artistic applications. Recently, I turned to ArtRage again, trying to manipulate with these brushes and settings in different ways, and I think I found the technique which I was looking for. Now I can turn a photo into a simplified, a bit abstract, but really stunning and impressive digital painting. ArtRage is an excellent program for this technique. It has a really nice brushing algorithm which mixes up the photo pixels and the super realistic brush strokes. ArtRage is available for mobile devices such as iPad or Android, as well as for Windows PC and Mac. I intend to use it on iPad because it is much easier for me to paint on iPad screen with Apple Pencil. So my video will be based on using iPad. So let's jump into my technique and I will show you how to do this.
Here I have ArtRage installed on my iPad. Let me open it. This is the canvas which I had from my previous project. I'm gonna change it. In order to do that, I have to press on this icon and press on Create New Painting. Now the first choice is to choose the paper. For the oil brush, I'm gonna use the Canvas 1 paper. I can increase or decrease the scale of the paper, the depth and metallic look. What I have now, I already done from the previous project, so I have it kind of my default settings for the paper. The only thing, I can decrease the metallic look of the paper so it doesn't have that much of the texture depths in it. And another important point is the size of the canvas. If you make the size of the canvas too large, the size of the brush strokes is going to be small. So I tend to use the square size, 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels. That's a good size for my project. Then I press on Done. And I have the canvas, the square canvas with a canvas texture on it. Because I'm going to paint from the photo, like tracing the photo, I need to choose the photo. For this, I'm going to press on this icon, which is a tracing icon, and press on Load Image. To import from my library, I press on this. And now I'm going to select the photograph I'm going to work on. I'm going to choose this photograph, a portrait of a man, which I've got from Pixabay. In order to show this photo on the canvas, I'm going to change the opacity. If you change it to 100%, so it's 100% visible, and if you decrease it, then it is less visible. So this photograph is going to work for us as a tracing image. So when we paint, we're going to pick up colors from this photograph and put it on a canvas with the brush strokes. The next thing is to go to this icon, which are layers, and see that the first layer is now selected, and that's the layer we're going to paint on. We're gonna have, I think, couple of layers, at least couple of layers here for this project. Now let's check another thing. Back on the reference window, let's make sure if we tap on this arrow, right, you need to be sure that you have the Use Color from Image checked. That's the tracing feature that enables you to pick up colors from the picture. If it is unchecked, then ArtRage will be using the colors from the color palette. I'm gonna decrease the opacity And the next thing I'm gonna do is to select the brush. For the kind of oil brushing, I'm gonna use this brush, the oil brush. And if I tap on these little things, then I'm gonna select the preset, the brush preset. By going here, there is a number of brush presets. I tend to use this one, thick gloss square brush. And I'm gonna use its default settings. And the last thing is to make sure that the brush is 100% size. You can change it by tapping the size value here. The size that we need, at least for underpainting, is 100%. Because ArtRage recognizes Apple Pencil, the brush strokes, the width, the depth depend on how hard you press with Apple Pencil on the screen. So if you press really hard, the brush stroke is going to be white. If you press slightly, you will have thin strokes. You can undo or clear this by tapping on layers, then going here, and clear layer. The first thing I'm gonna do is to paint the white strokes, doing kind of underpainting. So I'm gonna leave the background as a canvas, but I'm going to paint on the man itself. So let's start with his cup cover. I'm working with the strokes and with Apple Pencil like this. White and quite loose strokes. By turning the opacity down, you can see the strokes themselves. Very nice. I'm turning the opacity back so I can see where I'm painting. So I'm doing wide, loose strokes, kind of abstract ones, painting everywhere. Don't be afraid to make these large strokes, so we'll have it a bit abstract for the underpainting. And the whole idea is not to paint it like the photographic way, but to paint an abstract kind of looking image. I'm pressing a bit harder so I have these wider strokes and I have this depth in the strokes. In some parts I'm doing long strokes, in other parts I'm doing shorter strokes. So for the cover, for background, it's better to make longer strokes, deeper ones, and for the smaller subjects like face and everything on the face, it's better to make kind of dabbing. Okay. Very accurate in these areas. Especially here. Nose, eyes, mouth. More accurate. I think it's okay to leave some of the white spaces here, which kind of makes the painting even more interesting. it. So and sometimes you need to use your imagination when placing the strokes, not following just exactly the image, but adding some of your imagination here. Let me turn the opacity down and see what I've done. I can fill in some of the white areas, not everything, but just to make sure that we have some of these whites filled in with the strokes. Excellent, that is my underpainting. So if I want to bring up some of the details in this painting, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press on layers and add a new layer. Press on the eye of this layer to hide it. And then I go to the reference tracing image and bring the opacity back. Now, I want to use a smaller brush for that. I'm going to use the same brush but to change the settings a little bit. I've done a new preset. It's the same brush, but what I've done, I put the pressure slider to the left down to about 15%. The thinness is on 0 and loading is on 100%. So, but the size of the brush became smaller and I can do some little details on that. Again, I have my underlying layer turned off and I can just look at the image and see which details I want to bring up. Of course, it's going to be the eyes, the nose, a bit of mouth, a bit of hair, etc. Make sure again that you have your use color from image checked. So we are painting with the colors from the image. Even if I don't see that much of the brush strokes, I know that they are painting quite well right now. Of course, I can go to reference image and turn it off and make this layer visible so I can see that I painted up some of the details here. Let me turn it off again and bring back the opacity and continue painting. The brows, the nose is very important, some of the wrinkles, let me see what happened now. Go back here, turn the opacity down. Looks a bit better. And now it depends on me whether I want to place more details here, more of small strokes, or I want to keep it more abstract. In my cases, I usually tend to keep it more abstract. So I don't think I'm gonna do more of the small details now for this image. Especially when in this portrait, I'm gonna keep it more of a simplified way, and I only can add something for the eyes. So we have a personality. I'm done for the most of the part. Now I just wanted to add some little touches here. I'm gonna add one more layer, and I'm gonna use with the same brush just the color, putting some white colors on the face so it's kind of highlights. Tap on here. I'm gonna use this kind of white color, and I'm gonna do something with his eyes. It's too large. Yeah, maybe it's something like this. Then I'm gonna place some more white on his nose in these areas. I think that would be okay. I'm liking it, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Regarding the canvas and the background, we can leave it like this, white, or we can change it to another color. Let's say I'm gonna use this color for the background. Then I'm gonna take the Beckett tool and press on this background, so we'll get this background, this yellowish color. Or I can make it a bit darker, like this. I think I like it more. Now I'm going to retouch this image in iColorama. I mean, changing the color a little bit and increasing the sharpness of the image. I go to here, then to export image setting, save painting. I would tend to save it as PNG because of better quality. Right now it gives me the choice of, do I need to save the image or open it with other application? I'm gonna open it with iColorama. And here I can go and change the color first. Enhance. This is the first tool which comes to my mind. Or maybe some other preset, like this. Yeah, maybe in pastel I'm gonna use this preset, just increase the contrast and gamma and apply. Then I'm going to effects, sharpen, and in the first preset, sharpen preset, I'm gonna decrease the radius to something like 15. Then press apply to save this change. And now I just wanted to crop this image. For this I'm going to form, crop, and in crop I'm going to turn these sliders like this. That's how I wanted to crop it. Now I am pressing apply and save this image. So this is the portrait. The object of the painting is a large size. And what if we're gonna do with the smaller objects like a street scene or landscape? It's also possible. Let me show it to you. I'm gonna open ArtRage again. I'm gonna use the same size of the canvas, so I don't need to open it as a new project. All I'm going to do is first to delete the layers. And the last layer has to be cleared. Then I'm gonna tap on the tracing image and change this image. First I'm gonna delete it here and upload new image. Import from library. This time I'm going to use this image of a cafe in Florence, which I made a couple of years ago. Because the canvas is square it's good to fit this image into the square canvas. What I'm going to do now is to go here, image scale, and press on fit to fill. Now I want to make sure that I use color from image. So we have the first layer, and we're gonna use the thick gloss square brush with default settings and 100% size. Actually, for the underground painting, I'm gonna use a different brush, this roller brush with thick and smooth preset with 15% size. So I'm gonna paint on the background just to make some square, very abstract brush strokes with this really nice brush. So I'm kind of defining the colors of the underpainting. Let's see what we are doing. Really nice. Don't be afraid to paint on all these small areas. That's not a problem. We're going to reveal them later on with another brush. I think we need to go back and see, yeah, because we accidentally touched this panel and use color from image disappeared. Now we're gonna press on that again, so be attentive to that. Very loose, very broad strokes for the underpainting. Okay, now we're gonna add another layer. Yeah, we're gonna turn this layer off, select this brush with thick gloss square default preset, 100% size, and we're gonna, same way as we did with the portrait, bring up some of the shapes with these very nice brush strokes. Now we are doing mostly the shapes, the abstract shapes, and revealing some of the color. Okay, like this. You know, I'm not a professional artist, not a professional painter, so I'm just doing it the way I feel like should do that. So I'm sure if you are a more professional in that, you'll do much better result than me. I'm just showing you the steps and the ways you can do this painting using ArtRage. Okay, we are doing some figures here, some smaller touches, and something like this. Alright, let me do some broader strokes over here on the background, which will be mixing up with the roller brush strokes which we made previously, because this layer is on top of the roller brush layer. So one layer would complement another layer, and of course we will also put some smaller brush strokes to reveal a bit of details here. Okay, some nice red color. So let me see what is going on in the entire painting. Let me make this layer visible and turn off the opacity. That's okay. I can see there are still a lot of areas which are not covered with the paint. We can do it, of course. Like this. Or we can do it later on the roller brush layer. Now let me bring a new layer to the painting, turn off these layers, bring the opacity up to about 50%, then go and take this smaller brush, which is the same thick gloss square brush, but I reduced the pressure here to something like 10 or 11, and I increased the loading to maximum. So now I can go and zoom in the painting and start painting the details. Let me start with the head of this man. With his clothes. The hands. Chair. Just need to bring just a bit of details so it's not completely abstract painting, so we can see some of the details, and it will make the painting even better, like this. Yeah, I need to put some more details, I think. I think I should press on the pencil a bit lighter so the strokes are thinner and reveal the actual details. So how much details you want on this painting, it all depends on you. Again, you can make it really abstract, like many painters do, or you can bring out some details. I'm just showing to you what is possible. Now this lady, and very nice red colors. ArtRage is actually a very nice application to mix up colors and make the brushstroke look really painterly. I think it's one of the best app for this purpose. Really love it. Now this lady. Beautiful mix-up of colors. This head, this man. Just to show that it's not completely abstract painting. There is some story in this painting. Now moving to this. No. This kind of painting might take a bit more time than the previous one, and I hope you will have your patience which will be deserved. The chairs, some details of the chairs would also serve as good. Oops. Now this person, his head, as you see, I'm still working quite fast with the brush stroke. If I start doing every little detail, the painting is not gonna look that good, I think. You still need to have some looseness in your painting. At least that's what I think. Let's finish up these chairs. Because they are on the front side of the image, we need to do something about them. We need to define them. Of course loosely, but still we need them. Let's see what other details we're gonna have here. I think we've done this one with the previous. Let's have a little blue of that. This will help. Some greens. Something here. And this kind of yellow-orange thing here. What else? Just as we have some menu here, and this red light is very nice. It's gonna be quite interesting on this painting. Now we're defining some shapes. I can turn the canvas so it's more convenient for me to paint the other directions. Let's see what we can do here. I think here I wanted to make these letters, the Panini and Pane Eolia, a little bit more visible on the painting, so we see that this is a cafe or restaurant. So let's do that. Let's do this leaf first. Oops. Be careful with that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, we can do this. just very accurate, and we can do this. So we'll have some details like the name of the restaurant visible on our painting. Let's move to these upper letters. And we're almost done. Just a couple of last touches. Okay, let us check what we've got. Taking the opacity down. Yeah, I think we could have done a bit more details. Again, it's up to you. One last thing is we have some white areas not filled in. That's not a problem, we can easily do that. Let's go to the bottom layer, which we've done with this roller brush, and we can fill in these gaps beneath the other detail layers. By doing that, we would also have shapes of people and other objects more defined. I think I'm done with this painting. Let me tweak it a little bit in iColorama. I'm going to here, export image, save. And now I'm gonna save it as PNG. Not just save it, but open it in iColorama. Go to tone, select any preset which I like. I think I like this first preset. and I'm going to apply and then go to effects and sharpen it, something at around 15. Apply and save. Alright, this is my technique on using ArtRage, making a painting by tracing a photograph in ArtRage. These are just my tips and tricks and hints how to use ArtRage for this purpose. I'm sure you'll be able to do even much better paintings than I do with this technique.
Thank you for watching this video. Hope that you liked my tips and tricks on using ArtRage app. I'm sure you'll be creating beautiful art from your images with this technique. If you liked this video, don't forget to put your likes and subscribe to my channel. You can also visit my www.phototopaint.com website, where I posted over 30 tutorials and different brushes, textures and applications. I wish you happy painting and see you in my next video.